Hi guys, welcome to another Divi theme video. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesignertechtips.com. We got a fun one for you today. We've got some images over here. As you can see, we've got labels on the top of them. You can still click on the images and pop them out into a lightbox if you want to. And when they go back, it's got that little label on top. Same with this one. And you can have fun with it. You can turn it into a hover effect. For instance, we've got some images down here. You can pop them out into their lightbox. But if I hover over the bottom half, we've got this little pop-up and they can click on it, take them wherever you want. As I say, top half of the image is going to pop out into a lightbox. And you can do this for any module. We've got some blurb modules here and I've simply just put a button over the top of them. So they're a mix of a call to action and a blurb module there. We've got the icon, plus we've got the call to action button. Really easy to do. You'll be relieved there's no coding involved in this today at all. And of course, these are all perfectly responsive if I hit my F12 key. Here we have it on an iPad. As you can see, we've still got our labels at the top there. And they can tap on it, break it out into a lightbox still. And the same with the ones where we've got the hover effect. If they tap on the bottom half, they're going to get a button, or at least this pop-up, and they can click on the link. If they tap on the top half, it's going to pop up into a lightbox. And of course, our little blurb stroke call to action modules are right here. Very self-explanatory. Let's get out of the inspector tools there and we'll get started. I'm going to enable the visual builder and let's add a new row. I'll click on an existing row. I'll do a little row of 3 again, little green button to add a new row. I'm going to add 3 columns and let's just throw a little image module in it. And we'll select a little image. Let's put that young lady in there. Okay, let's just save that for a moment. I'm going to drag this up to the top. Just click on the row, grab the little cross, put it up to the top. Fantastic. Let's go back into the image now. I'm going to open it in a lightbox. Under the content tab, here's the link. Just put the switch on to open it in a lightbox. For anybody that doesn't know what that means, it means when they click on it, it'll open into a bigger version of itself. Don't want a background, but you'll notice when I hover over there, there's this crazy alphanumeric number. And this is an AI generated picture, and that's the title it gave it. If you don't want to see that when you hover over it, or you want to change it to something else, you can do that over in the advanced and in attributes right there. Just select it, delete it. Now when you hover over, there'll be nothing. Or like I say, you can type in something more pertinent if you want to. Okay, well, let's add our little label or button or whatever you want to call it. Just click on the image or hit the little dark button to add a new module. Now, you can use pretty much any module you want to have over the top, but I'm going to use the little text module right down at the bottom. And we'll put in the text that we want to see up there. Now, like I say, if you want to link it to somewhere, just go down below, put your link in there. Always best practice, if you're linking to your own site, keep it in the same window. If you're linking off-site to somebody else's, open it in a new tab. That way your site's going to stay open. Great, well, let's go down to background. I'm going to put a black one in mine. Obviously, choose yours however you want to. I'm actually going to click on the black field there. I'm going to pull the opacity slider down to about 75%. So that when it's up over the image, there's a hint of the image behind it. And of course, we can't really see that writing, so let's hit the little paintbrush. That'll take us right to the design for that writing. I'm going to make it white so I can actually see it. I'm going to capitalize it. I think I'll make it semi-bold. And obviously, we want to pop it in the middle. Great. Well, now we want to position this on the top of our image here. That couldn't be easier. If we go over to our advanced tab now, we're in our text module. If we go down to position right here, we can flip it by left clicking on the default from default to absolute. As you can see, it's magically put it on the top there. Now, if you want it in the middle, you can put it in the middle. And of course, you can put it on the bottom. Now, we need to make one slight adjustment if you want to put it on the bottom. You're okay if you want to put it on the top or the middle. But if we make this adjustment, it'll make it all fit. So I'm going to save my settings on the text module here. I'm going to go back into the image itself. And if we go back to design and spacing, you'll notice there's a switch, show space below the image. If you're having your text module below, just switch that to no, and it fits on the bottom exactly there. Great. So that's how to do those two. Now, the other one I've got here is just one where we've got a little hover effect going on. It's exactly the same thing. So if I just go to backend mode and we'll copy this first one. There's our first image. Here's our little bit of text. Just going to copy it and save, changing it all around. I'm going to go into my text module here. Let's flip back to desktop. I want to make this almost halfway deep there. So I'm going to go into the design, go into spacing and padding. Let's put a percentage in. Let's try, I'll try 10%. I want the same on the bottom as well. That's about right. That's as tall as I actually want it. But I don't want to see it at all initially. To achieve that effect, I'm sure some of you are ahead of me on this. Still in design, let's close up our spacing. We could go down to filters down below here. Remember, we're still in our text box here. If we go down to opacity, we can make it invisible. And common to all Divi modules, if you roll up over the dark writing within a module, you see these icons appear. Click on the arrow, it'll bring up two tabs. Desktops, when the mouse is not on it, that's exactly what we want to see. When they hover over the bottom half of it, we want to bring that back. So hit the hover tab here, and we can have a completely different setting. Fantastic. Just exactly what I want. So let's save that, and let's swap that image out. And obviously I left it call center open on there, but you can change it to whatever you want in that text module. And the last one, which is adding a button or whatever you want to add over the top of a little blurb module here. Very easy to do. Again, we're using exactly the same technique. So let's add a little module, whatever module you want to add. Let's do it the opposite round. Let's take a call to action and we'll add an icon to the top of it. So there's a regular call to action. I know it doesn't fit in our column there, but that's fine. Just shave off a bit of this text. Don't really need all that. Of course, you have some real stuff there, I'm sure. And we want to add maybe an icon to the top as well as a button on the bottom. Now, before the buttons are going to appear, I'm sure you know, you have to put a link in it. So if we go into link, put a link in for the button appears. Fantastic. Let's just change out that background. And we'll add an icon to the top. Let's give it a dark grey background, perhaps. My 2424. That'll work fine. I'm sure you figured it out already. To add a little icon module to the top of this, we'll click on this. We'll hit the little dark button to add a new module. We'll go down to icon. Choose whatever icon it is we want. Now, initially, I'll just turn it red. I'm going to turn it white in the end when we put it up there, but you can make it any color you want. If you want to link it somewhere, you've got the option there. Don't want a background on that one at all, but I will just change the color, as I said, by going to design. Here's the icon. Let's make it red. I'm going to make it a lot smaller, maybe 30 pixels. Okay, I'm going to leave that right there for a moment. I'm going to go back into our call to action module here. Just add about 30 pixels or so to the top. So we've got somewhere to put it at the top here. Back into the CTA, design. Spacing is always where you find margin and padding. Let's give it, say, 50 pixels at the top. That should be ample. And now see if we can't put our little icon in there. Let's maybe just up that to 60. Great. Now we can go back into our little icon. I'm sure you know where to go. Over to advanced, positioning. I'm going to switch it from default to absolute. I don't want it smack in the middle there. But if I roll down a bit, I want it not touching the top, a little bit down from the top. So you can put it up so it's halfway across by going downwards and putting it halfway up there. Seeing those are quite effective. But I want to take it down, so I'm going to use a positive value. Let's take it down by 20 and see what happens. Maybe too much. I think that's about right. And it's a great way of stacking one module over another module. And of course, it'll work on all devices, as you've seen. So let's save the changes now. Make sure all these are going to work on the front end. We'll save draft or publish if you're ready. And let's exit the Visual Builder. And there's our first one. Call center open. We've got a little link on that we can click on. I just put a hashtag in there. Or we can click on the image itself, pop it out to a lightbox. This next one, top half, we can click on it, pop it out into a lightbox. But if we hover over the bottom half, we can have our little call center open again up there, and we can take them somewhere else by doing that. And of course, we got a call to action module here. We've just put this little icon on the top of it. Absolute positioning is a wonderful thing to know. And just as you've seen, with a few little tweaks, you can get some amazing results. So I hope you've enjoyed this today and found it useful. Don't forget, if you have any questions, pop them down below. I'll do my best to answer them or make a little demo video just like this one. So once again, this has been Jamie with System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.